Hey everyone, it's JoJo. Wow, another year has almost gone by, and I can't help but to think about all the changes that happened this year, but how fast it happened. And I think that when I look at everything that's gone on in my life, huge growth has happened. And what I mean by that is that I don't feel the same as I did at the beginning of the year. And it's a good thing we have Facebook memories and pictures on our phones to kind of look at a photo and I think sometimes, who was that girl? But I know she was a part of me. But what makes me happy about that is because at least I knew that I have grown. So every time I see a photo of myself, whether it was a month ago or a year ago, and it just doesn't feel like me anymore, it's because I feel like I have grown emotionally and hopefully for the better. So last night was a full moon in Gemini. So that means it's opposing Sagittarius. Welcome to Sagittarius season. I have a lot of friends, families that are Sag. Beautiful, lively souls. And this is an awesome year for all of you because you just have a lot of great expectations coming your way, or at least have great expectations. And whatever comes, you can see it as a blessing. But you've got to work towards it. I keep using myself as an example because it's the only thing I know how to do. But I can use other people as an example, but why would I do that? I know for myself, things had to change for me. Not financially. I don't look at money as being like, okay, the end result of everything I need to do, because then I become a slave to it, and that's something I refuse to do. I refuse to be a slave to money. But I knew emotionally a lot of things had to change. I knew I had to go back to coaching people. I knew I had to go back to my initial calling, which was to help people at their core. I wouldn't have gone through so much extensive training myself in the last 15 years if I knew that wasn't the case. You don't stick to something like martial arts or, a deepening practice of yoga or, almost finishing that novel. You're always writing every day. You don't do things like that on a daily basis consistently year after year if it's not something you're truly passionate about. And that's how I realized that this is now my turn to teach others. And last night I said, I'm not playing small anymore. I'm going to teach you guys everything I've learned, and I'm going to share a lot of personal experiences because I believe that's the only way that we truly can learn authentically is by hearing other people's experiences and then learning what's happened. Destiny wants to get in the frame here. We're enjoying this beautiful sunset here in Laguna Beach. Oh man, you can't see it. There it is. As usual, it's my space, my time with my dog to play, and she still wants to play even after an hour. But I have to say that some things that cause me a lot of pain is to see people in the same frame of mind constantly, year after year after year, and nothing's changing. Nothing's changing for them. No one's going to change things for you. If you're relying on that Prince Charming, or you're relying on an inheritance or something to happen to you, great. It may happen, but you have to understand that in the long run, your mind is still the same. So you'll always be in fear of losing that thing next that you've received. Does that make sense? It's like the people who have won the lottery, who never imagined themselves rich, had always that poor poverty mentality, and could never really change their brain patterns to think differently. But guess what? All of a sudden they win the lottery and then they lose it so quickly. Why does that happen? Because they haven't changed. The money was just a part of the world for a short while. But there are moments of constantly fearing that loss, of fearing that money going to leave them. They made bad decisions. And guess what? If you're in constant fear, what you resist persists. So I don't have sympathy for people of our age, and meaning anybody over the age of 30. You know, and that's a lot younger than me. But I'm just saying I don't have sympathy for them, because I know we're always learning, but at a certain age you have to say to yourself, I'm no longer the victim here. I'm no longer blaming my parents for what's happened to me. I'm no longer blaming anyone. My story is old. It has to change. Now you change the story. You make it what you need to make it. And the only way you can do that is by changing your brain patterns, changing your thoughts, changing how you think, how you speak, changing your environment if you have to, changing who you're around. Yes, your family can be very toxic to you. And unless they're changing with you, or they're trying to understand who you are, you maybe need to cut all those losses. And friends too. Friends have always come and gone for me. Once I feel unsupported or that there's no understanding, that's when I'll say goodbye. And that's okay, because what happens is the other people show up, people who are more resonating with you. So you can never fear things like being alone, not having money, whatever your fears are, I don't know. But I have to say that it's a wonderful life, and to waste it in fear, and to waste not doing what you truly want to do in this world, you know, by working and just because you're not sure how you're going to pay your rent. And yeah, I mean, there's a smart way to do things, you know, but at least do something. At least stay on that path while you have that awesome paycheck coming in every 2 weeks. Do that. And sometimes you have to throw yourself into positions of scarcity. You have to throw yourself into ways to push yourself. You know, when you're up against the wall and you don't have any other choice, you end up doing things, great things. And it's not about playing small in this life. No? Or maybe it is for you. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just know that if you're listening to this video because you feel a little bit of pain in your life and you're feeling like the victim, you know, the holidays I know can bring out a lot of insecurities, a lot of depression, a lot of darkness that I've gone through and still do. I have my days, you know, where I have to change my physicality. I got to go for a run. I got to go to the beach, get grounded. I got to do something, you know, but I do it. I do something. I don't sit there and cry and say, poor me, why? I know I'm the master of this game. There's a master, the creator, but you are the master of how you play. And what it starts with is your imagination. And for you to think big. Stop thinking small. The world needs bigger thinkers, people who are more compassionate, and people who understand that there's more to this world in life than just money and consuming things. And if you're one of those people, it's your opportunity right now to help others around you have this sort of insight too. All right, it's getting dark. I'm gonna go say bye again from the beautiful sunset. And I hope during this full moon, which is still happening tonight, where's the moon? Can't see it. You make your intentions, if you didn't already, to release anything that's not serving you, whether it's friends, people. My intention was, I'll share it with you, my intention was to get rid of my bad habits, get rid of things that are no longer good for me, you know, and that has a lot to do with the people around me, the people I spend time with, what I do in my spare time. And I replace those things with more positive things. And I'm sticking to that. I'm sticking to that schedule. I gave myself at least a month. A month from today is Christmas Eve. So if it's a diet, a workout regime, whatever, you know, do it. Don't wait until Christmas to say, oh my God, I'm 10 pounds heavier. And then that crazy cycle on January 1st starts, and that's when you start and you start to get a healthier life. Do it today. No time to waste. Thanks for listening, guys. Without you listening, I would be talking to no one, and I'm okay with that too. But if one person actually gets something from this video, that's all that matters to me. So I appreciate you and I love you for taking this advice or getting something out of what I say, because what it does is that it's that ripple effect in the ocean, you know, in the waters, that maybe one day you'll use what I've said to help somebody else, and so forth and so forth and so forth. And that's, I think, the best way to look at life. Not to say I need 1,000 followers, you know, 1 million people, you know, on my page, this and that. It's a ripple effect, and constantly think about that. Who you're around is affecting you too. And what you do affects you. You are your habits, and that is it. So if it's time for a change, you'd like to work with me one-on-one, I would value you so highly, as I know that's not easy to do, to take that step. So, bye again. Talk to you soon.